Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Mindminx Show. I'm your favorite Mindminx and we're with Mix Vibes Radio as we always are. I want to give some special shout outs to our sponsor, Absalom, located at 223 DeGraw Avenue in Teaneck, New Jersey, and of course to Castro Beats for this great beat that you're hearing in the background. We can't hear it here because, we're live, but in YouTube land they get to hear it. And I just wanted to let everybody know that it is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all of you beautiful ladies out there, including myself. Yes. And we are live on location right outside Red Bull Stadium with the very beautiful and talented Jessica Paris. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. Long time no see.
I know. It's been a very long time. I think our last interview was almost a year ago?
No, I never. Actually, it was over a year ago.
It was over a year ago, right? At the A-Loft Hotel. Yes, yep, I remember that.
Uniquely coordinated All Eyes on Me artist experience.
Yes, the first one that they ever did.
That was in February of 2021.
Wow, that's crazy.
Can you believe it? That's how long ago it was.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. I can't even believe it's already been over a year. Wow.
A year and a half. So I want to talk about that because when I first met you, well, first of all, and I know you probably get this all the time, but you are very sunny.
Oh, thank you.
And you're welcome. But like usually, some artists, that's what they lean on.
Oh, like their looks?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't do that.
But, when I saw you perform, I was like, holy shit, she can actually sing.
It's not just the face.
No, it's not just the face, and I really appreciate it. And your personality is so great. Like, we clicked immediately.
Oh my gosh, immediately. And it's crazy because you actually asked me the same question. Like, you were like, oh my gosh, you're stunning, like the first time. I think it was almost every single time. You're like, you're so beautiful, like every time. But yeah, no, we clicked immediately. It was an instant connection.
I remember one of the first things that happened. So once it got warmer, we actually went back to A-Loft for another All Eyes on Me experience.
Correct.
And at this point, you were still a part of the new Mac, yes?
Yes, I was.
And it was focusing on the girls.
Yeah, it was.
So the girls performed.
Yeah, the girls performed. I think one of the guys performed. I'm not sure. But that was with Mr. Cheeks, right?
Yes.
That was a really crazy night. Yeah, I remember that.
So you know where I'm going with this then.
Which part? If you're thinking of this part that I'm thinking of, then yes. Oh my God, yeah, that was crazy.
So we were all outside because again, it was a little bit nicer out.
It was. And they kicked us out, remember?
Oh, they kicked us out?
Yeah, because we were in the lobby for too long. Like the event ran out way.
Oh, geez, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry the event was so successful.
The speakers, it was so loud and the people were complaining from upstairs. Yeah, I remember that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they moved everybody outside in the foyer or the parking lot. It was so funny. But yeah.
But you know what? It turned out to be a great time because it didn't feel like, they kicked us. I didn't even know that. So that was new. That's news to me. But we're outside, so we're listening to you, and we got to listen to Demi. So shout out to Demi. I love her.
Yes, Demi Kiara.
And was Sad Hippie singing this?
Sad Hippie sang too, yeah.
And so it was, the focus was on the girls. And I remember when you were singing, some motherfucking guy, yes, we can curse. So.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Some motherfucking guy, I have to talk louder. Wait, we're gonna talk later on about
about what? About okay.
Me being told that I need to be louder.
Oh yes, that's it's true.
So,
this guy,
some guy starts, and everybody's filming.
Yeah.
So it wasn't odd that somebody was filming.
Filming. It was what he was filming. It was just the fact that oh my God, it was crazy.
So you were standing in the middle.
Yeah.
And we were semicircle around you. And what I thought was the coolest part was that not only were you singing, but there were so many people in the audience that were singing along with you because they knew your music. That's to me what I guess really had, it gave me the goose pimples.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a really great feeling.
It's a great feeling when people know your music and you're singing it. Absolutely. I love it.
But then this guy.
Tell him what he did.
He's filming you, which is fine.
Yeah.
But he comes up real close and then all of a sudden he's filming your feet.
Yeah, he films no, but you know what? He doesn't just film my feet. He's on live with my feet.
Oh,
he was on live and he was like, look at those fucking feet. I was mid-song and I was like, I got really upset because I was like, I kind of felt violated. Like, don't get me wrong, I do have nice feet, but like, bro, I'm in front of like 30 people like performing, and he's like, he wasn't like off to the side. He was very close to me. He was almost touching me.
Yeah, it was very apparent what he was doing.
Yeah, and like at first, like, you know, mid-song, I didn't want to like be I could have, because I've done it before, but I didn't want to do it anymore.
No,
so like I was just trying to be.
You kept your composure.
Yeah, I kept my composure and stuff, but like somebody ended up coming and being like, yo, like, don't do that. That's mad disrespectful, and I appreciated that, but it was just like the fact in the moment. It was just like, bro, you're gonna disrupt me like mid-song. That was crazy.
That was super crazy.
Yeah. And then you saw it. You were like, "Are you okay?"
I did. I came
yeah,
up
you
to him,
came
like,
up
Are
to
you
me.
okay? Because that was. I could see the look on your face.
Yeah, because I was so mad. not the fact that like he was. It was just the fact that he was just so close, and it was just mad disrespectful.
Like that personal space did not exist.
Not exist. No, but it's crazy because you've seen things like that happen to me almost every time. I feel like, what was it that other time you saw somebody like come up to me and he was just being very disrespectful, and you asked him like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Like every time, yeah.
I think they said something to you.
Yeah.
And I remember sending you. I was like, "Wow, that like I don't like no."
Oh yeah, you sent me a DM. You're like, "Are you okay?" Like, yeah. It was on live. I was on live, and that guy was being like really. He was like
really disrespectful.
Very disrespectful in the comments, and I kept ignoring him. But you had texted me.
You
like,
did ignore. You did a good job.
Yeah, thank you. I deal with that on the regular. I just, you know. It's so crazy. My life is really crazy. But yeah, that was crazy.
Well, let's talk about how it all started, because you're not a New Jersey native.
I'm not. No, I'm from Florida
You're
originally.
from Florida, St. Petersburg.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yes, I am. Where'd you get that? Facebook?
Although I did find you on Facebook. Did I send you a friend request? I think I might have.
I don't really use Facebook, but
Okay.
I'll add you. I'll add you.
I might have. I don't either, but like when I was Googling, I was like, oh shit, she's got Facebook.
I do. Yeah.
You're right. There weren't any current pictures, but the only thing that was current was your relationship. I was like, okay, this is the right person.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I've never had anybody like on my relationship. That's like my first time. Yeah, so. Yeah.
Way to go.
Thank you.
So you're originally from St. Petersburg, Florida.
Yes.
But I want to talk, because you mentioned this before we went on air, and you said that, you know, you're half Puerto Rican, half Greek. So, all right, I was thinking about this because, you know, like they say that Puerto Ricans are like the closest genetically to like the perfect human species. Did you know this?
I didn't.
Yes.
But hey.
Especially the females.
It's okay.
Yes.
I know that like, never mind. I know that like Puerto Rican women are like known to be very toxic.
Oh.
Like besides being perfect, you know, like we're a little toxic.
Well, I'm speaking genetically.
Okay, genetically. Okay.
So toxicity is
a trait.
But you're also Greek, so you
I
have
am.
that like Mediterranean, Caribbean, like, wow.
Yeah.
How did I need to know, how did your parents meet?
They met, so my dad, he's Greek, but he grew up in Colorado.
Wow.
So, yeah, and then my mother is actually from New York. And she she moved to Naples, Florida, when she was younger. But after high school, she got accepted into one of the top vet schools in Colorado.
Oh.
And they met at like, I think it was a restaurant. It was like a party restaurant. You know, like when they like they buy out the whole restaurant for a party. And she was like a waiter or hostess or something like that. And then that's how they met.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, that's how they met.
So it was interesting because I assumed that your last name was the Spanish side.
Right. My dad is actually the Greek, and then my mother's the Puerto Rican.
And they shortened his name when he came.
Yes. So my dad's like parents are actually from Greece, but when they came to the United States, they had shortened their last name. I'm not sure as to why they did, but I know that it was Parakis. It was like much longer, and then they just changed it to Peros.
Well, you know what, the whole concept of why people's names got shortened when they come over, right?
No, why?
Because whoever was working, the agent who was working, and we're talking like way back, we're not talking like recent times.
Right.
They couldn't pronounce it.
That was my assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They couldn't pronounce it, so they're like, oh, Paris.
Yeah, or Peros, or
Yeah.
you know, just
Yeah.
completely shortened it. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, for
So
sure.
whomever it was that was doing your grandparents' documentation could not pronounce whatever, the last name.
Of course. But you know what? Greek last names are very long and they're extremely hard to pronounce, like, in general. Like, they have a K, a Z, and then an O and a V somewhere, and it's like 15 letters long. So I wouldn't even blame them. I still have problem, like, pronouncing Greek last names too.
Yeah. There's the one sauce that, and I'm not even going to say it because I know I'm going to say it wrong, the TZI, or...
Oh, tzatziki sauce.
Yeah. I cannot say that to save my life.
Yeah, you can either say tzatziki sauce or joogie sauce. Joogie sauce. It's like delicious. Even makes you jig. Dance a little bit. It's good sauce. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would not have known that at all.
I don't know who came up with that. I just grew up hearing that, like, as the tzatziki sauce. Yeah.
But your grandmother, so is it on your? No, I'm going to assume it was your mother's mom, who was an opera singer.
Well, she wasn't fully, like, she was a singer, but she would always sing opera around the house. Like, she had this huge, loud voice every morning. She would wake up and, like, sing to the flowers.
With her
café con leche. Every morning. And then she actually, I just learned this about my grandmother not too long ago. She recorded an album in, like, 1976, I think in Puerto Rico. Yeah. So that's who I get my voice from, 100%. Yeah.
And you said that you got a lot of life lessons from her.
I did. She inspired me to write down my prayers and write down, like, my thoughts. And, she really inspired me to journal. Yeah, that's who I really get, like, and my songwriting too.
Yeah.
She was an amazing songwriter. Every time. She'd write it on a napkin, my notebook, my, like, homework. She'd write anything, little short songs, and they'd always go with bum bum, like, after every song, just little bum bum.
Aww.
Yeah.
Do you have anything recorded with her? Is she still with you, or?
No, she just passed 2 years ago. Rest in peace. She passed of old age.
So God bless her then.
Yes.
She had a full life.
She had a very full life. She was an amazing woman. But I don't have anything, like, recorded, like, in the studio of her. I just have videos of me, like, singing to her,
So that's beautiful then. You'll have those memories.
Absolutely. And I'm, like, out of all the kids that my mother has had, I look the most like my grandmother. I have, like, the exact face of my mom and my grandmother completely.
Aww.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm carrying out her legacy.
There you go, especially with the singing.
Absolutely, 100%.
Now, you started singing pretty young.
I did.
Now, was this something that you wanted to do, or?
I think it was more something that was, like, embedded in me.
Okay.
I feel like music is a really big part of, like, my family and just singing. So, like, when I started singing, when did I start? I remember my first time singing. Like, it was in the back of my mom's car. I was in the car seat, and we were eating Wendy's, and I started singing, and I remember, like, my voice was so weak. I sounded like a little, like, lamb, like a little goat. I was like, eh! Like, I couldn't really get the sound out. But then when I started taking vocal lessons and piano lessons at the age of, like, 7, 8, that's when I really started singing. Yeah.
And at what point, because your parents did take you to LA, like, that's, like, how old were you when that, when, not for nothing, when somebody makes that kind of investment in their child, they must see something too. Usually parents are like, sure, go ahead, you can go get your vocal lessons, I'll take you your piano lessons. They uprooted their whole lives to take you up to LA.
Well, we that's crazy that you say that. So we would go to LA for this music camp called Vocalize You out in, I think I started in 2014 when I was, like, just turning 15. No, lies. I started younger than that. I was, like, 12.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like 2012 when we started going to LA. And basically the camp was, like, a bunch of musicians, producers, songwriters, like, people in the industry, and you would go perform, you would learn amazing, like, techniques and stuff like that, like, about the industry and just even singing and music in general. So yeah, I feel like it was definitely an amazing investment. Like, I met people that I still talk to this day, like, through that camp.
And how long were you doing that camp for? So that was like a summer camp type.
It was a summer camp. I did it all the way from the ages of, like, 12, 13, all the way till I was 15, almost 16. Yeah, we went every year.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really great of your parent. Like, you know, I tried that with my one son. He, you know, I was telling you before, you know, so I had him in acting when he was younger and modeling, but he kind of gravitated away from it and more into sports. But like I would, you know, we would take him into New York to do all of this stuff, and I was like, that's a time consuming, because that's not just a couple hours in the afternoon. That's like an all day, and that's just right here in the city now. Imagine traveling all the way out to LA.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you know this, but I've been doing that for like I started off as a model and an actor. I started out at the age of 5, working. I had 2 agencies. I was constantly getting booked. So like, but we would travel from St. Pete all the way to Orlando, which was 2 hours. And on top of that, like, I agree, it takes a lot of time. Like, there would be days where I would have to stay out there for about a week to 2 weeks at a time, finishing a job. And I kind of just fell in love with it, like in being in front of the camera. I just fell in love with it.
Yeah, they saw you had that passion, but not only that, you didn't just have a passion; you were good at it.
Yes, I was like a natural at it. I think that was one of the things that made me very popular, like, because I would get booked left and right. Like, my resume for modeling and acting is huge, like, since the age of 5. Like, girl, Harley Davidson,
Wow.
Disney World, SeaWorld, Nickelodeon, Tupperware, like, you name it, I was in it.
Wow.
Yeah, like, everything.
Well,
Like,
let's talk about Chicago.
oh my gosh, yeah, that was in high school. I was a cell block tango girl in high school. That was in
Played
Virginia.
Mona, right?
Yes, I did play Mona. It was Lipschitz. That was part of the song. Like, there's a cell block tango, and each of the girls had like a story to tell, and I was Lipschitz.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was exciting, though.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of my first times that like I took theater very, very, very seriously, like in high school, because the theater program I was a part of, it was like connected to DC, which had like also a really large theater, like it was just really big to be in theater in DC. So yeah, I started taking that like very seriously in high school. It was amazing.
That's really cool. So, and that was in 2016. So I'm just trying to, because I know that you're young, but I keep forgetting the actual, like when you start saying the years, like 2014, 2000, I was like, holy shit, you're really young.
Yeah, no, I'm super young. The amount of work that I've done is kind of insane for the age that I am.
That's what happens when you get old, and you know, when you talk age versus year, I'm like, wow, you were 12 in 2012.
Isn't that crazy? I was born in 99, and every year, like, I get older. Like, I'll never forget my age. It's 2023, I'm 23 years old. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Which is nice, though, because I'll be like, oh, yeah, back in 2012, I was only 12 years old. I don't have to be like, what age was I, you know? Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Wait till it's like goes into the 30s and 40s, and you'll be like,
I'm not ready.
You're gonna stop counting at 38. 39 is a good number, I think.
Lord. Till I get there, I'm living in the moment.
Yeah, good for you. Good
Thank
for you. So at what point, you know, you're doing all of these things out in Florida. You're going out to LA. You're doing Chicago. When does the journey transition to Jersey?
When I was 18, right after high school.
What caused that transition?
Well, it was a transition that, like, it wasn't really my choice. My mom decided to move me and her up here, and then I don't really know what kind of got me up here, but I say it's really just by the fate of God, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was big for you. You are the master of your own fate, and it's you who, like, that was big on your bio. Like you've had that capitalized.
Yeah, definitely. Because there was a point in my life where my mom gave me an ultimatum. She's like, I can't be here anymore in Jersey. So you have the choice. You could either come back to Florida, or you could stay here in Jersey where I'm by myself. And I really had to take a really big leap of faith. Like, I just didn't really, there's nothing for me in Florida. You know, at that point, I've already been out of Florida for like 3 years. The people that I grew up with kind of grew up without me, you know, and then I kind of started a life in Virginia, and then I kind of just got moved again. So I was like, nah, like, let me I'm gonna stay here. She was so heartbroken when I told her I'm gonna stay here. She's like, well, for what? You know, Puerto Rican mothers, so dramatic. But
we have a flair for it.
oh yeah, big, big. But she was heartbroken, but you know, she had left, and then I started my life when I was 18 here by myself.
Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So are you in Jersey City, or are you in where?
Yeah, so I just came to Jersey City.
Okay.
I love Jersey City. Like that's where I've been wanting to be at since I think like 2019. But I was first in like Weehawken area.
Okay.
Then I was in Newark for a while.
Okay.
And then I was in Harrison actually.
Oh really?
Yeah, I was in Harrison for like 2.5, almost 3 years. Harrison, Newark, like I bounced back and forth, and then I just hit Jersey City November of last year. So
Aww.
yeah, I'm so happy in Jersey City though. Like out of all the places I've lived at, Jersey City is my favorite.
Aww. So how long have you been writing your own music?
I started songwriting when I was about 12 years old. And I still write, you know, to this day. So I've been writing since I was 12, so about 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah.
And how many of those songs have you put out yourself? Like, I know that you sell some of your own music too, right?
I do. So like I sell hooks and stuff like that with Cito, Cito on the beat. I just started like selling that. Like that was probably like almost a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I'm very new to the music side.
Okay.
You know, I've been in the music, but like me taking it seriously has just been very recent.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I'm still like learning how to sell my music and stuff like that.
Okay. And now how has it been recording as an artist? Like how long have you been doing that?
So recording, like just in general, since I was 21, I got my first setup on New Year's of 2020. Yeah, 2020. So yeah, about 2021. But that was in the floor of my room. Like I started in my room, you know, and then like professionally recording like 2 years.
Wow. So I think that's the shortest career, I think, out of everybody that I've interviewed. That's the shortest career. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Because I was blaring your song on 20. I was not exaggerating. Literally on replay.
That I Want to Know, right?
Yes. The whole ride home, the song that's on your promo. The whole ride home on 21, just blaring it.
I love that.
It's a great song.
Thank you. I appreciate that for sure. Cito and I did that whole project together. We finished the whole 5-song EP in less than 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's 5 songs on that.
Yeah, it's called Shoulda Known Better. It's on all streaming platforms, but there's 5 songs on it, and that was ironically, it was based off of heartbreak. So like that song was like, I was really heartbroken during that time.
How does it feel writing something like that? Because you are in a happy relationship right now.
Yeah. Well, I just got into a relationship. Before that, I was single for how long was I single for? I was single for like 1.5 years, almost 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, I was single throughout the entire pandemic, and then until November of last year. So during that time, I was going through a lot. Like that was the time that I wrote Shoulda Known Better, like of me being single, but also just like hurting, you know? I base my music off of how I'm feeling. I can't write it's hard for me to write a sad song if I'm in a really good place, like mentally. Yeah.
Interesting. So how is it though? Like maybe this is a Cito question.
I mean, shoot.
How was it like working on this song though, knowing that that's how you felt at one point? Like, does it bring up like old feelings? Because it's one thing when you just write to write something.
Yeah.
But it's something you actually experienced.
Well, it's crazy that you asked that because once I like sing. Music is like my therapy, right? So once it's like let out, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm good now.
Good? Okay.
Yeah, even when I listen back to it, the only thing I listen to now is like, I don't think about the feeling. Now I think about like, I could have sang that better. Oh, like this part could have been different, you know? I feel like if I would have taken a little bit more time in creating the music, whereas to me just going into the booth and being like, I need to get this feeling out right now.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah. So now I don't listen to it about the feeling and how it made me feel. Now I listen to it about like, damn, I did that part mad good, or like, oh, I could have done that better.
Good for you. I love that answer.
Yeah, I've healed a lot. Like the music
Aw.
has healed me.
That's
Like
great.
throughout me making it, for sure.
So, all right, so now going back to this little, I mean, I don't want to like, downplay that it's only been 2 years, but it's only been 2 years that you've been a recording artist. You're performing at SOBs, right?
I performed at Drum.
Drum, okay.
Yeah.
Where did I think you were at SOBs?
Izzy was I have a bunch of friends that performed at SOBs, like Izzy Nice performed there, Justin Love performed there. Like I've been there. I haven't performed there yet. I'm planning on to, like, eventually.
We just spoke it out into the universe.
Yes, and Madison Square Garden.
There we go.
Yeah, and Madison Square Garden for sure.
But so you're performing, and you're also added to your repertoire. Vocal coach.
Yes, I did.
How did that come about?
Well,
I mean, it sounds like a smart transition.
Well, it's first of all, I'm a boss, right? Like, I'm an entrepreneur. So one thing about being like a boss and an entrepreneur is that there's not just one source of income. You have to have multiple sources. So I took up vocal coaching because, like, I'm in the studio with people all the time, and like, I naturally just was like, can you hit that like this, or try this technique to try to hit it, before I even started vocal coaching. So I decided to just put the title on vocal coaching because I realized that, like, I'm able to help.
Doing it.
Exactly. I was already doing it, and I was helping people. People were like, wow, like, we need more people like you in the music industry, because I could be stingy and be like, nah, like, let them figure it out. But, like, I love helping people, especially with creating the sound that they're looking for, So it kind of came about in me, like, realizing I was already naturally doing it.
Definitely naturally doing it. How long have you been doing the vocal coach?
Only a year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I've been I still have the same vocal coach since I was 11, Ingrid. I forgot how to say her name, but her last name, but Ingrid. She's been with me since the age of 11. Like, she started me out very young, so I actually ask her very frequently, like, how could I do this better? Like, she helped me kind of become a vocal coach as well. Yeah.
And what are some of the exercises that you do?
I mean, do you want to show them?
No,
where's the piano? Because, I mean, have you told them yet?
Not yet.
Do you want to tell them now?
So the cat's out the bag.
She's actually a client of mine. She's learning how to sing, which we do exercises that we call scales. There's different types of scales. I'll either give you 1 note, 3 note, 5 notes, or 8 notes, which you haven't gotten to 8 notes yet. But you have an amazing ear. But basically, we do scales like ooh, and
I'll do not sound like that.
I'll play it on the piano for her, or just my clients in general, and then I'll have you sing it the way the piano, the key it's in. So, which I said, you have a great ear, which a lot of people don't.
And that was one of the first questions you asked me, and I was like, no, I don't have a good ear. And then you're like, you need to give yourself more credit.
No, definitely, because you have a great ear, and like I said, a lot of people don't have the ear. So the fact that you were able to, we were only on lesson 2, right? And she came in like almost a freaking professional, all up in there. I was like, wow, like, you did a really amazing job with me giving you the scale, and you gave it back to me very easily. So yeah.
And what I liked about it was that you didn't have to tell me, like, you'll tell me to, let's do that one again, the second note, whatever. I stopped myself. I was like, no, that didn't, like, I could hear that it was not right.
Exactly. And that's something that a lot of people, like, I'm serious, a lot of people
really?
they don't catch themselves. So that's why I have a lot of patience with.
You do have a lot of patience
with vocal coaching.
We will laugh in the middle of class, and I'll be like, "I'm sorry, you can't say something. What did we say? Oh, you the hee hee."
Oh yeah, because I was like, it was wee wee. Because so vowel work. That's one thing I'm teaching you right now. And one of the exercises I was giving you is wee 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 wee. You know,
I started laughing.
Oh my gosh! And then but our lessons are always so fun because like you will start laughing, and then like we'll go into a quick like story, and then we'll get like right back into it. Yeah. So.
Well, what I said about that was like, because I'm a boy mom.
Right.
And I would call, when they were little, I'd be like, we she.
We'd
be talking about your we she. So in my head, for like I was like, I don't know if I could say we.
Nah, it was honestly, it was such a great moment. That was such a great moment. You recorded that moment, didn't you?
Yeah, it's all recorded. Everything's recorded.
It was a great moment.
We'll be trying to figure out how to. So after our first lesson, you said pick a song.
Oh yes, I did. So all my clients, because I don't just teach like, scale work and warming up your voice. I teach techniques as well, like, because you're a singer, you have to sing live, or whether you're in the shower or anything, like techniques, it's very important, So I ask you to pick a song so that I could teach you techniques. And what was one of the techniques that we learned? You learned.
Well, there was two actually in the particular song that I chose, which actually when you broke it down to there was 3 notes, that there's one part, and I'm not going to sing it. I'll post it. And then you guys can see what we're talking about.
It was a riff, though.
It was a riff. Okay,
yeah. So that's what we call a riff. So
riff.
like in between songs, like it's just a little
right. So when I was like, I'm not sure what she's doing there, because my thing is that I can mimic.
Right.
That's what I keep saying, and my eyes are tearing.
So are mine. I'm over here trying to dry them out.
And I'm not understanding. So you actually found the note on your piano and taught me how to do it. And we actually recorded that whole process. And now I'm able to do it because I understand what those 3 notes are. Right.
So like for riffing, right, I've always was taught to break it down. Hold on, that's my phone. I'm so sorry. You could just turn it off. Thank you. What's it called? So I've always was taught to break. Oh, here, let me see it. Here, let me see it. I'm so sorry.
We're live.
Yeah, hold on. Athena, I have to call you later. I'm in the middle of an interview. Bye. Sorry, that was my little sister. So I was always taught to break down a riff, right? So I go onto the piano and you saw that I did it by ear, first of all. So I hear the riff by ear, and then I'll play the notes for you individually, and then I'll break it up into 2 separate parts.
Right.
Which is what I did for you in both riffs. And it was really nice because you understood it very well, and the way I break it down is like vocal coaching for dummies, right? Like I just try to break it down as simple as possible, because not a lot of people understand terms that I usually
don't.
Yeah. So, because even you, I was like, give me more of a hoot in there. You're like, what? I was like, shoot, like an owl, hoo, But yeah, so like breaking it down for my clients is as simple as possible, and for them to understand it is something that I really take pride in, for sure. And I'm glad that you were able to understand it. So now that you practice it, even when I'm not there, you're like, okay, this sounds like do,
Yes. Yeah. So, and it's been a lot of fun, and I'm gonna be learning the song, we're gonna be practicing it, and we're gonna actually, because I guess you're adding something else to your resume, you're gonna be engineering.
I am. So I am also an engineer. I love engineering, and I love recording people and like helping people just in the booth, So I'm really excited to record this song with you.
Yeah, we're gonna do this.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
It's gonna be all-female production.
Yes.
Cito cannot. Well, let Cito say it, because
he'll be in the room. He'll be in the room. He'll be like, "Babe, you're not doing it right." Well, I'm also my significant other is Cito on the beat, so like it's great because he's also teaching me how to engineer, but one of the things, actually, this ties into the story that we were saying earlier about me having like, that guy recording my feet, crazy, just weird things happening. But like the reason why I picked up engineering is not only because I love it, but also I want women to be able to come into the studio and feel safe. Because like I can't tell you how many times I've worked with, before I started working with Cito, like I've worked with people like in the studio, and then they're just trying to fuck, and I'm like, and they just start acting weird. So that's why I picked up engineering, for like, so that girls can come in and just be.
Oh, you're gonna be a powerhouse. You kidding me? There's gonna be so many females that are.
Absolutely. And on top of that, I have like I said, multiple sources of income. So I have the vocal coaching. I'll help singers create harmonies and, vocal arrangements. On top of that, I'm engineering the whole thing. So Yeah.
So some of the other exercises that we're doing, though, is the breathing one.
Oh, yeah. Breathing is important.
Super important. And I'm noticing that more now that I'm learning the song. Because I'm still missing like 2 parts of the song because I'm not sure when to breathe yet.
So that's what's going to be actually in our next lesson. So where you breathe is also very important, because if you're going to sing this song live, or just even in the studio, 2 different worlds, by the way, live and in studio singing completely different, but you have to know where to breathe. You can't just sing the whole song in one breath, you know, so that's very important. So next time you come, like, I'll actually be teaching you breathe, you know, but I'm going to be teaching you different types of breathing.
Right.
You can't just be there in the booth. You have
could you imagine hearing that
every time you can't. You have to breathe like quiet. You know?
So yeah, that's like
there's different types of breathing that you have to do in order to do it.
And what some of the other breathing exercises that you're teaching me is with the straw, and we had to lay my straw to rest because it was bent.
It was bent. We had to say R.I.P. We had to put it in the trash can as the casket. Yeah. But the straw exercises are amazing to actually physically strengthen your voice. Because like when you do it in the water, I told you, like, the water allows the pressure to not be only just pushed out, but it pushes back into the back of your throat, which is like just terms. But it gets pushed in the back of your throat where your vocal cords are out, and it physically strengthens them, like as if you're literally like going to the gym.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because you have to have good like vocal health, you know, and on top of that.
That's interesting. I just remember the first time I tried it, when you put the straw, because it's one of those little tiny, like...
It's a coffee straw. It's very small.
Really small. But when you initially have it in your mouth, you don't realize how tight you need to hold on to it.
And on top of that, you don't blow through your nose. You have to blow through your mouth, which is through this very small straw. Yeah. But you got it after the couple tries. You got it very well. Yeah.
The first time, well, you know what? I'm competitive, so I'm like, fuck that. This looks stupid with all the air blowing out of my lips around the straw. And I was like, so I'm very competitive.
Yeah, which is a great thing. Like, you have to be competitive. Yeah. So I love the self-determination, too, because within like 3 minutes, you had the exercise down very well.
And what was the other one, the other exercise? So we talked about the scales. We did the wee-wee, the who. Oh, I remember. There was something really interesting. When we're doing the scales, I find it easier to either go down or stay low. When I get high, so we talked about that I'm an alto.
Yes, you are alto.
Okay.
So I have a choir background as well. I used to be in choir. So like there's so many parts of choir, but pretty much the basics are, for females, you could either be a soprano or you could be an alto, right? And like alto is kind of like just lower female tones, and then soprano is the higher tones. And in the between that, you have soprano 1, 2, 3, and alto 2 and 1. But yeah, you're a full alto.
Yeah, so I can sing lower instead of this, because there's nothing happening. There's nothing coming out when I try to get.
Like high. You have some high notes, but like not everybody sings like, you know, super high, you know? And also it's in your natural voice. You have a very
low voice.
Lower tone.
That's the cigarettes.
Which we've been talking about. We have been talking about.
And some people are happy about that, by the way.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'm happy to hear that. Well, you know, I'm a stress smoker too. You know, I'm a smoker too, which is like a vice. But you have to put them down eventually, you know? Especially because like you have beautiful skin, and on top of all that, like smoking like messes up your skin and your voice, you know.
Well, so what I have found is, because I'm practicing so much, I don't and I practice in the car because that's when I have the most free time. I am smoking less because obviously I'm not gonna have a cigarette in my hand while I'm trying to practice this
song. Yeah.
So.
But have you also noticed like your voice being like smoother?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I did, so like right now, so I don't know if you remember, I told you, like I always when I get nervous, I get con mouth. So I've been drinking a lot of water, but I felt like I had a frog. But you said that you did too, so that it was probably allergies.
Yeah, and nerves can be in that too, but
God, I get nervous.
she was nervous, but when I feel like once you got comfortable, the cotton mouth kind of went away. But also the second time we went, my throat was really acting up. So I definitely thought it was allergies. Like even right now, my eyes are literally watering, and I'm like, no, it's allergies for sure.
Definitely allergies. And then the only other, I don't want to say, the only other critique that you had for me, and it's something that my engineer says to me all the time.
Which I'm sure he's going to be happy to hear.
That you want me to be louder.
Yes, absolutely. Being louder it's good because you need to project your voice. And even in the booth, like the mic can only pick up so much, you know? You have to have more projection so that I'm able to hear you, and also you're able to hear yourself more. The music can never be, it can be loud, but you have to be able to hear the singer a little bit over the music, you know? Yeah.
Okay.
But eventually you'll get there, you know?
Is it a confidence thing, or is it?
It is. It's definitely, I believe it's a confidence thing for you specifically because you're loud right now.
Right.
You know? I think when you start singing, you're still like nervous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you see me fidgeting, so we're completely documenting the entire process.
We are. Yes, we're documenting the process.
So this will be a whole docu-series that we'll be putting together.
Yes.
From beginning to, literally from beginning to end.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing too. You're good.
Yeah.
Like everyone's going to love to see it.
So it'll be fun to see that whole process. So hopefully you'll see a difference in the how loud I get from beginning to end.
I think so. I believe your techniques are going to get like there 100%. Like it's so crazy because one person that I've been working with for a while it's Demi Chiara actually. But I've been working with her for 6 months, and like I'm telling you, the growth that she's had within the past 6 months is like, it's amazing. It made me realize I was like, nah, I'm good at what I do. Like I know like what I'm doing, you know, for sure.
Now, do you have room for new clients? Are you still actively taking new clients?
Definitely,
okay.
Absolutely. I'm even taking kids. My youngest client is 10 years old.
Nice.
Yeah. So you know, I take all ages, all types of levels. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner. Like we could always start basics. But the one thing I always tell people is that consistency is key.
Right.
I have clients that come in once, twice, and they're like, oh, I'm not singing like Mariah Carey yet. Like, you're not doing anything. I'm like, no. You have to practice, you know, even on your, and I'm not asking you to practice like 30 minutes, an hour a day.
We had this conversation.
It's just 5 to 10 minutes a day. I practice every day. That's why I'm, you know, like I'm as good as I am. You know, I practice every day and I study like there's parts of your voice that you also have to take care of, you know? So practice, consistency is key. Absolutely.
Now, I've heard people say that, you know, you can teach as much as you want, but there still has to be some talent behind it as well. Do you find that there's truth, or, you know, do you feel that if someone tries hard enough? I
think hard work over talent any day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it depends, you know, absolutely. But it also depends on you as like an artist, you know? Like I feel like in order for you to do music, or just anything in general, you have to have some type of like familiarness with it, or like I always say it as an anointing, you know?
Okay.
But like one thing that's really hard to teach in music is rhythm. It's like dancing, you know? Some people just can't just can't dance, you know? So I feel like if you work really hard at it, yes, but you have to have some type of familiarity, something like.
I know what you're trying.
Yeah, like you have to have something that's familiar within the realm of what you want to do, for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So where can everybody find you?
Yeah, everybody can find me on Instagram at Jessica_Peros. You can find me on YouTube, Spotify in the same name, TikTok, and Twitter, and Facebook if you want to add me on Facebook, but you're just going to see some very old pictures from middle school.
Yeah, I was pretty sure. I was like, this does not look active. Like, I told you, the only thing that I saw active was your relationships. I was like, okay, this is definitely her.
Yeah.
I did start following you on TikTok.
Cool. I did, actually. I saw that. Yeah.
And your music is phenomenal. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
I was super happy. And so I wanted to go back to this. So when we first started talking about vocal coaching, we were talking more about stage music.
Live music.
And
live singing.
Right. So that changed. So you not just, you know, the kind of music like the pop music or whatever, R&B, you also have, you know, the capacity to teach for stage singing.
Absolutely.
Because that was our first conversation. And then when those plans changed, we went into this.
The studio, into studio. Yeah. Well, singing live is, like I said, singing live in the studio is completely different. And I've been singing live for a really long time, but one thing I've been singing live is theater. And that's different from performance, like R&B, you know? So teaching that and doing it, I could still learn a lot, like a whole lot. But teaching it is very important because, like, you need to learn breathing, where to breathe, because you're not in the studio. You can't take takes. Everything is live. You also need to learn, like, mic, where the mic needs to go. You can't have the mic here. You have to have the mic right here. You have to be able to hear the band, but also not just the band, yourself. There needs to be the interface right there, well, the speaker right there in front of you. You also need to know, like, you need to let the tech know, like, if you want more reverb, no reverb. If, you know, there's so many things that go into being a live singer.
Dear Lord.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's
so
a lot.
I'm glad that changed.
Yeah, no, well, you could do it. It just takes a lot of practice. Like, that's something I'm still learning myself. But teaching it is definitely, like, it's easy, but it's difficult at the same time, for sure. I'm still learning how to teach that, honestly.
Well, so far you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
I'm happy. And so we've got Jessica, the music artist, vocal coach, engineer. What's next? What else can we see that's coming out?
Oh man, I also make clothes. Actually, I made these pants.
Shut up.
Yeah, I made.
I was
these
not
pants.
expecting that.
Yeah, so Sito and I are currently in the works of creating our own clothing brand. And I made these pants, and I think I'm going to start doing, like, eventually, not right now. I'm, like, focusing on other things, but, yeah, like, making clothes eventually, for sure.
So wait, are the caps part of your...
Yes. Yeah. So, well,
I just thought that was merch. I didn't realize you guys were creating a label.
Yeah, so it's called Mia Moore Studios. We're still in the process of, like, creating it. Like, he's had the hats for a while, so, that's like something that I just kind of came in and just helped him pick out, like, new color waves and stuff like that. But the pants are gonna be on there. We're creating shirts. Like, I all hand stitched all the shirts that, like, we're currently in the works of making. So yeah, I make clothes as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was unexpected. I did not know that.
Yeah. So I just love being a creative in general, like art, painting, like clothes specifically though. I've been doing clothes for a minute. I started off, like, making clothes for my dolls when I was younger.
Aw. So you were pretty creative in all aspects for a very long time.
Absolutely. Photography, videography. Like, I even edit all my own videos. On my YouTube channel, I used to do vloggings, and I would, like, record it, edit it, everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I did not know that, so that we learned something new together.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't think a lot of people know that. Like, that's a part of me that I'm still letting people get to know me, you know, so... Slowly.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I want to thank you so much for giving us your time today.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. Always. Please.
And then we're going to be sharing some stuff, obviously, in the coming weeks of our
vocal lesson
lessons.
Journey.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, fun too. I'm super happy. Like, I look giddy in the one video when you're like, yes.
When you were singing? Yeah. No, girl, you had it. I was like...
I was so happy.
Yes, I love it.
But, all right, so everybody, thank you so much for joining in. And mind your favorite minx and join us next time.
All right, bye.